Be present, haha. Like we do every single time we're practicing. So we're practicing Yin. Remember, we're trying our best to be still. So getting as many or as little props as possible to be comfortable, or as comfortable as you can be. If you want to start back bend, you're going to start in back bend. You can, if you're in that back bend, support your knees, placing blocks or bolsters underneath them. You can allow your eyes to close or open. Whatever feels most comfortable, wherever you can stay present. Maybe if your eyes are closed, you're gazing to the space between the eyebrows. You see colors. Visualize a deity. If your eyes are open, try to look at one spot. And let's feel every single place where our body comes in contact with our props and the floor. So we're in different positions. Start with your head, whatever position you're in. Whatever it's resting on, let your head become heavy and a bit more relaxed, relaxing around your eyes, ears and nose, mouth, letting the lips separate, the teeth separate, and the tongue drop down to the bottom of your mouth. Feel where your shoulders and arms touch the props or floor. Work your way through the torso. Start to feel the lower body and what that is supported with. All the way down to the tips of your toes. Aware of the sounds close by. Maybe you can hear the heat, your breath, your heart, people chatting on the other sides of the walls. What can you smell? Taste inside your mouth. The texture of your clothes on your skin and the temperature of the air. If your eyes are closed, what do you see there? If your eyes are open, what do you see there? Using our senses to keep us in the moment or to bring us back. There's a lot going on right now, and honestly, I don't really feel like talking about it. So, I think a good idea, in my opinion, is as we go through our days, just try to get off what we need to get off of our chest and then be present. At some point, giving ourselves a little freedom to let go, release a little bit of tension to create a little bit more freedom to be present. Feel your breath. Try today to concentrate on breathing in a little bit slower. try to stay relaxed in your belly and shoulders as you draw that breath in slowly through the nose, gradually feeling what moves on the body as you breathe in. Right? So as we draw this breath in and positive thoughts in, we draw more prana into us. This is vitality in every sense, mental and physical, spiritual. The more positive things we bring in, the positive things that we're reading, watching, people surrounding us, thoughts, the more prana we have in us, the more vitality, the more life. Slow, long exhales, all through the nose if you can, creating more room for the prana, the inhale. Imagine as you exhale that you let go of things that are negative. Suck the prana from you, suck the life from you. The negative thoughts, the self-doubt, the fear, anxiety, pain, toxins. We'll make for bigger inhales through the nose. So continuously breathing slowly through the nose. Breathe in again. If your eyes are closed, you're going to slowly blink them open. If you're lying down with your legs extended, slowly as you breathe, bend up those knees and place your feet on the floor. And we're going to slowly make our way off of the props. If you're lying flat, you can stay there. We're making our way flat. I did a little book switch for Yin. Considering we're usually reading from Tom Brown's How to Heal the Earth, which is all about survival, I just thought it was a little too real for today's class. Not that this, I'm going to read from Krishna Das's book today. Not that that's not real, it's just real in a different sense. So when you get down there, if you're able to stretch out the legs, do that. And taking your arms over your head as long as you have no things going on the shoulders and neck. And when you're ready, you're going to stretch through your toes and fingers. You're going to take a very deep breath in. And when you exhale, maybe you yawn, kind of relax a little bit. And then do it 2 more times. Like on the inhale, you're reaching and stretching. There's a little work going on, but on the exhalation, it's like mush, like a puddle. And then 1 more go when you're ready. You can keep the arms over your head. Do that. And we're going to make our bodies like the moon in a shape of a crescent. Where you'll walk your feet and legs towards the right corner of your mat. You're going to keep your bottom at center, and then the arms and torso walk towards the right corner as well. You can always bend the elbows if you need to. Bottom is at center if you're able to. Left ankle over right. Head slowly, when you're ready, if you can, turn it over to the left. And breathing into the side of your body. So connect, right? Feel the breath. Feel what happens in the ribs on the left side when you breathe, creating some length here. Right? Let, again, your face relax. Things are efforting in a way, but a lot can relax and sink into the floor. This is what Krishna Das has to say about relationships. When Maharaji looked at the other devotees and me, we felt complete and total acceptance. We felt love so intimately that it was scary sometimes. It wasn't something I ever tasted before. Where it came from, love was conditional. If you're cool with me, I'll be cool with you. I won't love you anymore if you don't. That's not what it was about with him. He knew who we really were. He knew what we'd done in our lives, and it didn't affect his love. He could see right through our personalities, right to God inside of us, right to our own true being. And the power of his seeing allowed us to let go of our stuff and enter into that love. Right? It's like most moms with their kids. We all want to be that little kid again who can just absorb the love. Take a couple more breaths. When you're ready to slowly let a breath go, if your ankles are crossed, you can gently undo them. And then as you breathe slowly, take your time to wiggle to the other side of your mat. Each side is different, and especially this posture, it always surprises me, like how intense it is, for me anyway. So bottom at center, feet and legs to the left, head and arms to the left, maybe right ankle over left, head slowly turning over towards the right. Maybe you begin to notice how balanced you feel today from right and left side. Let what needs to effort to hold the pose work, but then work on relaxing some other things. Toes, fingers, face, head. Give yourself permission to breathe and feel your body in this posture. The second he looked away, I crashed. Then he'd look back and go, he, he. It's terrible to be such a fool for love. I couldn't protect myself against that because it was everything I ever wanted. My wildest desire of how it was going to feel when it was exactly the way I wanted it to be and the way it was sitting with him. The way when I was sitting with him. Forget about being cool. I just ran for it. But what was really scary was to see how I closed down every 10 seconds. There I was sitting with this guy who was loving me beyond belief, and I couldn't hold on to it. I tried, believe me, I tried. If you've ever seen hummingbirds at the sugar drip, you know they don't go too far away while there's sugar's available. Similarly, let's say that you went to a party and met that perfect someone. You're thinking, wow. Then somebody introduces the two of you and you have a little conversation, and that person's looking at you like you're looking at her, double wow. You get up the courage to ask for her phone number and she gives it to you. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'll call you. Okay, sure. You go home that night, but you can't sleep much. You wake up at 6 a.m, but it's too early to call, so you wait. Finally, it's the appropriately cool hour to call, not too early, not too late. You call and she says, oh, wow, I was just thinking of you. You want to come over? Oh, yeah, sure. Are you going to walk across town? No way. You're going to rent a helicopter to drop you at her house. Why? Because you know she or he is it. Is there waiting? It's all here waiting for us inside, but we got the phone number wrong. So we're dialing every number, every combination of those numbers, trying to get it right. One day, we'll say the name right once, wholeheartedly, and the connection will be complete. Chanting the name takes away those thoughts that tell us, it'll never happen. I can't do this. I don't deserve this love. I'm not enough. I'm not tall enough. My hair's not curly enough, whatever. All the stories we tell ourselves that turns us off, that's what we can let go of through doing practice. And what's left is what's already always here. So he's talking about chanting the name of the divine, whatever that means to you. Kali or Durga, or hymns, prayers, those positive vibrations. When you slowly let go of a breath, if your ankles are crossed, you can gently uncross them. Slowly and gently wiggle yourself through center. And then slowly bend up that right knee. And you're either going to hold behind the knee or on your shin. Your left leg long, flex left foot. And bring your right knee just out to the right a little bit and shrug both your shoulders back and down. Keep your neck long so your chin is just pulled in a little bit. And breathe well through the nose, right? A little breath in the belly, a little breath in the ribs, a little in the chest. As you exhale, maybe your shoulders relax a little bit. Belly relaxes a bit. Maybe your right side of your lower back relaxes a little bit. And maybe if you relax a little bit in your body, your mind will loosen up a little bit. In past weeks, we've been talking about trying to not use less of our logical mind, but build up that other side of our mind, that intuition side, that I want to say almost like softer side, where our gut feelings reside. When you breathe in, take your right arm and bring it out to the right. When you exhale, you're going to roll over to the left, keeping your right shoulder on the floor. Right? So right shoulder on the floor. If you want to prop up that top knee, you can do that. Right? Slowly and gently turning your head over towards the right. Right? So we stretch the sides of the body, and now we do a little twist. It's good for our bellies, but good for the spine. Some of you may be able to want to do a little bit more, possibly bending up that bottom knee and grabbing your foot with your right hand. But if it takes your shoulder off the floor when you get into the posture, then don't do it. And breathe into your side. Let your body, meaning your shoulders, rest down on the floor. If you find yourself drifting away, right, remember you can do a little scan, feel what comes in contact with the floor. Lama Surya Das has said, enlightenment is an accident. We spend our whole lives trying to be more accident-prone. We long for these accidental moments of love. At such moments, finding ourselves in that love, we see ourselves as beautiful through the eyes of love. Of course, the whole point is that it's possible to feel that way always. When we develop the eye of love, then we see everything and everyone, including ourselves, the way Maharaji saw us. It's easy to imagine what it's like when we love somebody else, when we're in love, when we feel love, when we go through the day in a different way. It's simple. Lightning doesn't shoot through the sky. We just start to feel better regardless of what's happening. But what if that somebody we love is us? How would that feel? It's very difficult to imagine, isn't it? We see ourselves so harshly and judge ourselves so incessantly about everything. Practice is a time when we're specifically dedicated to letting go of those kinds of patterns. During one of Joseph Goldstein's loving kindness meditation retreats, a man who was having difficulty offering himself loving kindness said, "I want to be the guy my dogs think I am." Can you imagine if that's who we thought we were, it would be amazing. We're in relationship to everything all the time. It seems that the bottom line with relationships is this: as much as you love yourself, that's as much as you will be able to love another and allow yourself to be loved. As much as you love yourself, that's as much as you will be able to love another and allow yourself to be loved. Slow, with breath, come onto your back. Slow, stretch that right leg out. Breathe and bring the left knee in gently. Bring it out to the left a little bit. Shrug your shoulders back. Flex the right foot. Neck long, head down, chin pulled in. Breathe into the side of your back. Feel what you feel. Ready? You'll slowly breathe in. Left arm goes out to the left. And when you exhale, you can slowly roll to the right, keeping left shoulder on the floor. It's okay for us to be prepared, to give our minds the space to let go and have a little freedom, being present, checking in, maybe turning your head to the left, maybe bending that right knee and holding that right foot with your left hand, breathing into your side with both shoulders on the floor. It's all a practice, believe me. I have busy, busy brain. Checking in. We're in relationship to everything all the time. It seems that the bottom line with relationships is this. I'm going to say it again. As much as you love yourself, that's as much as you will be able to love another and allow yourself to be loved. Most of the Indian people I've met don't have the same issues with this. Love was not withheld from them as children, so as adults, they're easier with intimacy and love. They don't expect the other person to save them from themselves, their loneliness, their lack of love, all the stuff that we in the West do. In every relationship I was in, I kept trying to find Maharaji, my source, my touchstone for the feeling of love I so wanted. Needless to say, this put a bit of a burden on relationships with other people. One day I was with a friend of mine who's very psychic, and we were talking about relationships. She said, "You know, you already have the main relationship of your life with Maharaji. Why do you keep trying to recreate it and find it in other people?" When she said that, I saw that Maharaji was the great jewel and that all of my other relationships, romantic, non-romantic, whatever, are smaller jewels set around the one great jewel. If I didn't try to make them into the big stone, they were cool just the way they were. That was a big revelation for me. towards your belly. So together, if you can, or close, either maybe catching behind the knees, shoulders down, so the spine is long, the tailbone is tough. You may be able to put a hand on the front of the knees. You may be able to wrap your arms, holding your wrists, your forearms, or your elbows, but keep your shoulders shrugged back, right? The belly relaxed. Take a couple deep breaths, and as you exhale, see if you can gently squeeze those legs in a little bit more, finding some ease, some release, some space. As you let go of a breath, you can let go of your legs, taking your arms slowly and stretching them up and over your head. When you feel ready, making your way onto your side, and then slowly up to sit if you have the will and the momentum. Let's just face this way. So turn it around. I know this isn't a crowd pleaser, but it's good for us. So you can either cross your legs, left leg in front of right leg. If you're able to take knee on knee with no knee discomfort, left knee on top of right knee. Grounded, what that means is both butt cheeks are pressing down into the floor. Not only are they like touching down, but specifically that left sit bone is pushing down. You could do this with a block under your butt, or if you need to, a block under your foot. And have a lot of stuff going on. Now you're going to take another block out to the right. You might need two. I usually do, one stacked on the other. You want the block to be just a bit away from you, and then you're going to lean over right elbow on the block. So it's better, in my opinion, to not have your shoulders slumped forward, back and down. So your left glute is pushing into the floor, right? You're not sinking down into the right arm, but the right elbow is pressing your block away. You're going to shrug that left shoulder back. You're going to press your head back a little bit. You're going to do all those things, and then you're going to try to breathe well. And then maybe even you take that left arm up behind your head, like you're posing for a really fancy picture. Right? But be honest, what goes on in your posture? Right? Is your spine long? Can you breathe well? Right? If there's so much tension and you can't really breathe well, you're just really kind of adding to it. Try to find the ease, or try to create some ease. Maybe with your exhale. You do a little body scan. We want to connect with people, to be in relationship, and to have community. We want to have a partner and be able to enjoy that. When we get intense with other human beings, then we have an opportunity to see all of our stuff. In fact, we can't miss it. Most of us forget that sex and love are two different things, and experience great disappointment when love doesn't show up with sex. Once I was telling Tuari about my girlfriend. I was going on and on about how much I loved her. Finally, when I was done, he smiled at me and said, "My boy, relationships are a business. Do your business. Enjoy yourself. There's no harm. But love's what is always here. It's what lasts the whole 24 hours." Tuari was happily married with a large family, was giving me the bottom line again. Love is what we are. We don't get it from somebody. We can't give it to anybody. We can't fall in and out of it. Love is our true being. He was pointing out that I was still looking for the perfect relationship, the perfect love with another human being. I was imagining that when I found it, I'd become completely happy forever. I got so angry at him that I didn't talk to him for days. Slow. body is in contact with the floor. Whatever connects you to the moment. Just a few breaths here. Torture ourselves, right? I worked out so much as like a young person. I'm like, wow, like how much of that did I really want to be doing? We can't be sloth-like always, right? So right knee on left knee, right leg in front of left leg. Both sit bones on the floor. Now again, grounding that right sit bone. You're pressing into them both. Right? Spine is very long. We're taking our block or blocks out to the left, not super close. We want to keep that left shoulder out of our ear, down our back. And then we're going to lean into that left elbow, head in your hand, elbow pressing the block away. Both shoulders are back, head is pressing back, gaze to the right, maybe even lifting up that right hand. But not if it makes it hard to breathe. Relax your toes, try to relax that right hip, right side of the back, right outer thigh, wherever feels not relaxed. If your eyes are open, try to look at one spot. But of course he was right. He was saying that love is not something we get from people. It's always here. Yet we can't find it because we're looking outside ourselves. He was saying that our relationships with other people, based as they are on the mistaken belief that we're separate from each other, are really a business. In a sense, we're doing business, bartering our affection and attention in order to attract another person who will do the same for us. It's like all animals, birds. Tuari wasn't saying that this was bad in any way. He told me to enjoy it, that there was nothing wrong with satisfying my emotional and physical desires. He was simply pointing out that water can't come from a stone, and if I expected a relationship to make me happy forever, I was going to be very disappointed. When we eat a bowl of pasta, we don't expect that it will satisfy our hunger forever and that we'll never need to eat another bowl of pasta again. Why do we think that a relationship will do that? Why, when we fall in love, do we think this is forever? Well, that's why they call it falling. We can share attention, caring, and affection with another person, but real love is within us. It's the same in everyone. It's the nature of the soul of our very being. the non-silly things. It's really funny. You have to. You'll make yourself laugh. Take about 5 more breaths. Slowly in, and then gently come up. Stretch your legs out, pointing and flexing it. So we stretched our sides and we twisted, stretch your sides again, move your hips a little bit. Take the body in the opposite direction. We'll take a back bend in Sphinx pose. Face any way you want on your mat. Coming onto your belly. Remember in Yin, other than difference, one of the differences in Yin, we're efforting. Whereas in restorative, we're just like that huddle, right? So elbows under shoulders. So look at your shoulders. Make sure your elbows are under your shoulders, right? Your legs about, say, the width of your hip bones. Your toenails pressing onto the floor. So even the pinky toenail, try to roll that out. Resist the temptation to clench up your butt. We want it to be jiggly, right? Now we want it to be jiggly, right? Elbows pressed down and kind of, let's just say, energetically pull back. Again, we don't want to hang our head too far forward or lift our chin too high up. If you have injuries there in the neck, you're going to do what you need to do to keep it safe. Feel what comes in contact with the floor. Your shins are off the mat because you're pressing into your toenails. Feel the breath in your belly when you breathe. Just when you're a bit relaxed there, the belly will expand and gently press towards the floor. It just happens. Not pushing it or forcing it. Slow inhales. Try to slow the breath down and even it out. Right? Scientifically, keeps us out of fight or flight. Right? Or helps us get out of it. We've mistakenly gone down that rabbit hole. I was once at a teaching with a Tibetan Lama who asked, why do Westerners think that relationships are supposed to make you happy? He couldn't believe it. In relationships, we're navigating for our world and other people are navigating through theirs. When they do or say something that we react to, we rarely ask ourselves or them what they really mean. Usually we take for granted that our version of the story, our reaction to what we think they did or said, which we see through the filter of our movie, of me, is perfectly reasonable. We don't question it at all. We accept what we've seen through our own lens. For instance, she doesn't like me. She thinks I'm a schmuck. But do we have any proof that this is what the other person is actually thinking? 99% of the time, other people have no idea that their words or actions triggered such a reaction in us, and they're confused and hurt by their perception of our reaction. We both lost in our programs. This is very much the same of our daily lives. We're swimming around in the sea, bumping up against each other, and rarely questioning whether or not our reactions are based on what really happened or our own subjective version of it. Chest expanding on your inhale. hands to the floor by your shoulders. So tuck your elbows in. Curl your toes. Try to keep your elbows in. And as you breathe, you're going to make your way up onto your hands and knees. Crack, crack. Me too. So we'll take another back bend, one more. So your tush, it's going to stay pretty much over your knees. So if your knees don't have as much cushion as they used to, in the good way that you need cushion, put a cushion underneath your knees, right? And then the arms are going to stretch out. Please, please use your arm strength and don't dump into your shoulders. Your hands about the width of your shoulders. The shoulders not rolling up and into the ears, but out and down, just like downward dog pretty much. So your tush is up in the air, your chest coming towards the floor. Traditionally here it's your chin on the floor, right? But if that's gross for your neck, maybe your forehead, or maybe you have to go higher on the block. So recognize that you're in a back bend, whether your back is bending a lot or a little bit, and where you feel it, bending and stretching, opening the front of the body. And try to breathe into the spaces where it's hard to breathe into, where you're not relaxed or where you're healing. Our lives are full of unconsciously accepted beliefs about the way things are. When I was younger, my mother was often angry, judgmental, and hard to please. Now I'll find myself in a relationship with a woman and often unconsciously assume that she's judgmental of me and hard to please. I'll interpret a lot of stuff through that old lens, making knee-jerk assumptions about what that person is thinking about me when I don't really have a clue. Once, for example, at the beginning of one of my relationships, I was so uptight and nervous when we had our first kiss that I thought, this is really terrible. She must think I'm a jerk. I got really depressed. Luckily, we talked about it later, and she said that it was the greatest kiss she had ever experienced. All of a sudden, hell turned into heaven. Right? It's perspective. We can let our mind go to the negative place, or we can train it if it's not already really good at it. Thinking the brighter side. About 5 or 6 more breaths. Try to ease the tension with your breath, with your positive thoughts, maybe with that, the word, whatever that word is that's connecting you to source. Very slowly. You can make your way up. So just press more into the hand. Stay on hands and knees. Or flat on the belly for a moment. Yeah. Maybe back bend. It's not always proper to just crank yourself into a forward bend immediately. Yeah, maybe you wiggle your hips around a little bit, make some circles, maybe a few cat-cows, whatever you want to do. And then we'll sit back into a child's pose, only sitting as far as the knees will not be angry with you, right? Putting props on the ankles or calves if you need to. If you're able to, draw the arms by your sides with your palms up. Sometimes that's hard if you're not, the knees are not cooperating. Again, feel where your body comes in contact with the floor. Feel your breath. Whatever connects you to the moment. Sounds around you. I'm like a smell person. Smells help keep you present. Or they bring me away, depending on the smell. But
person who comes up at the end of class and says,
Yeah.
that was a
Yes. Some of us just have a serious face a lot of the time.
resting bitch face.
Resting bitch face, yes. I have a little bit of a tiny face. Remember when Dharma was little, she said, "So you don't like funny, Mom?" And I was like, take a couple more breaths. Bringing your hands to the floor by your shoulders. You're going to slowly press into the floor, roll yourself up. And swing your legs over to the side. We're going to come into a comfortable seated position. Hold on one second. This is like weird, totally weird. But we're going to do a little alternate nostril breathing. Which is calming, and I know we're not supposed to be touching our faces, which is like a weird thing, so if anybody wants to clean their hands, I have a natural hand sanitizer. You do yourself. Alternate nostril breathing, you can do it at home. Don't do it while you're driving with your eyes closed. We're going to practice breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 8. We're going to start on our left side and end on our left side, which happens to be the cooling and calming side of the body. So if you get home and you want to practice this and you're like, I don't remember exactly what they said, don't worry. Just close one nostril, breathe, and then close that nostril, breathe out another one. Just do it slow, and I'll talk you through it this time. So you're going to take your left hand into a mudra, thumb and index finger to touch. They say areas of the hand correlate with areas of the brain, and this helps us concentrate. So left hand will rest on left knee, and you'll keep your hand underneath. And then your right hand, we're going to use that hand to block the nostrils. So you're going to take your pointer and your middle finger of your right hand, and you're going to bring that into the palm of your hand. Right? We're going to use our right thumb and right ring finger to block the nostrils. Don't worry if you're using other ones, but just whatever. Thumb and ring finger. You're going to lift your hand up towards your face. You're going to try to sit up tall, keeping the spine nice and long, tailbone tucked, right? Head not hanging too far forward or too far back. You want to close the eyes, do it. If not, gaze forward. And let's all slowly inhale gently through both nostrils. And exhale through both. Inhaling through both nostrils. Closing the right nostril and exhaling out the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Closing left. Exhaling right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling left. Inhaling left. Exhaling right. Inhaling right. one more full round. So that means when you're done, you slowly exhale out the left nostril. To release the right hand softly onto the right leg. Say that's helpful for balancing the hemispheres of the brain. Right? That logical side and that creative side, that intuitive side. Trying to find some more balance there. Allow your eyes to slowly blink their way open. We'll end with our legs either propped up or on the wall. So you could take 2 blocks and put your bolster over your block. Bend your knees, bring your legs over your bolster and lie down. So it would be like this. Lying down, or you could swing your legs up the wall. Legs some attention. You see it's good for the flow of lymph, which is obviously connected to all the systems of the body. Again, get your wiggles and adjustments and fidgets and all those movements out of the way. Get as snugly as you can. Again, become aware of what contacts the floor. Start with the back of the head or your prop. Work your way through the body, through the torso. Notice what the legs touch down on. If your legs are on the wall, you can allow the wall to support them just as if you were lying down, letting the earth, the mat, the floor, the dirt, the water support you. It's all there. Let your breath come to a natural and spontaneous rhythm where you're not trying to make it do anything. I once met Roshi Phillip, the author of The 3 Pillars of Zen. He was one of the first Westerners to go to Japan and do intense practice there. He was suffering from very advanced Parkinson's disease and had terrible physical discomfort, along with the involuntary spasms that came from the disease. One thing he said to me really stuck. As he was sitting there, in pain, he looked into my eyes and said with great intensity, "It doesn't matter how much practice you do. If you don't bring it into your daily life, it's all a waste." The power of this statement came from the depths of his realization, and his daily battle with Parkinson's and it shot straight into my heart. We don't want to walk around afraid. We don't want to walk around feeling hurt and separate. We don't want to continue carrying around all the feelings of betrayal and pain that we've experienced in all the relationships of our lives. No matter how much meditation, chanting, yoga poses, or any other practice we do, it's very hard to remove the fears that come up in our daily lives and the feelings of being isolated from the rest of the world. But the result of a true spiritual practice ultimately must be the lessening of that fear and isolation. We can't be judging ourselves if we're really singing or offering ourselves or someone else loving kindness. These are the moments we're taking energy away from unconscious programs that run lot of stress. We move very fast and often get lost in the unconscious flow of our days. We can't control the things outside of us. We can't make people act the way we want them to act. We can't even make ourselves act the way we want to act. The good news is that our feelings of unworthiness or self-judgment is just stuff. It's not who we are. Stuff comes and stuff goes. What doesn't come and go is who we really are and what we really are. To experience this, we need a spiritual practice.